Hello, my dear little fellows, kiddies, those who are the students of CBSE syllabus or ICSE or IC, whatever may be, today's lesson is very interesting. It is the story of a very courageous girl who broke the records of all other girls of her time or broke the records of her contemporaries. However, the name of the story is Rich for the Tough. That means the girl is highly ambitious, the girl is highly courageous, and she possessed an indomitable spirit. And that is why she didn't take the path of all other girls. And let us begin the story. The only woman in the world who has scaled Mount Everest twice was born in a society where the birth of a son was regarded as a blessing, and a daughter, though not considered a curse, was not generally welcome. The story begins at a time when, in all the families, the male babies or children were most welcome, and the girls were almost unwanted. However, the plot of the story has been taken from that time. Clear? When her mother was expecting Santosh, a traveling holy man, giving her his blessing, assumed that she wanted a son. As it was a custom or a convention that every family wanted a male baby, a traveling man, that is a vagabond, a man who led the life of a monk or a sage, came to the family and wanted to bless the mother who was bearing the baby in her womb. And as it was expected that the family would hope for a male baby, the holy man blessed the expectant woman that she would bear a male baby. Okay? You see, but to everyone's surprise, the unborn child's grandmother, who was standing close by, told him that they didn't want a son. And it was surprising. It was amazing, and it was very amusing to think that the grandmother who was standing near the mother was dissatisfied with the words of the holy man. She, in public, declared that The family didn't want a male baby, they wanted a girl baby, female baby. The holy man was also surprised, and it was natural for the holy man that the family had expected a girl baby, and it was surprising to the holy man too. Nevertheless, that is, however, whatever may be the fact, what is the meaning of nevertheless? The meaning of nevertheless is whatever may be the fact, or however, he gave the he gave the requested blessing, the blessing that the family desired was given by the holy man. And as destiny would have it, the blessing seemed to work. And as it was the fate of the family, the blessing of the holy man worked very well. Santosh was born the sixth child. Yes. The name of the baby was Santosh. She was born as the sixth child in a family with five sons. That means there were five sons, one after another, and a sister to the brothers, the five brothers. Yes. After five brothers, Santosh was born. And it was really a very joyful event in the family. She was born in the small village of Jainivas of Rewari district in Haryana. And the name of the village is Jainivas in Rewari district in Haryana. The girl was given the name Santosh, which means contentment, satisfaction, and peace. The girl was given the name Santosh, which means in English contentment, not dissatisfaction. It is satisfaction, and the desire is fulfilled. But Santosh was not always content with her place in a traditional way of life. But it was revealed gradually that the female baby, as she was slowly growing up, was not leading the life of the other girls of the village. She was reluctant to lead the traditional life, the conventional life, the stereotyped life. She began living life on her own terms from the start. That means from the very beginning of her life, she started leading her life as she willed, as she wished, not guided by her parents or the neighbors of the locality or the other girls. Where other girls were traditional dresses, Santosh preferred shorts. The traditional dresses were chosen by the other girls of the locality, and it was natural for the girls. But Santosh was quite different from them. She preferred shorts like boys. Looking back, she says now, From the very beginning, I was quite determined. And she was quite determined. She was quite determined to walk in her own path, and she was not guided by any other person in the locality or in the family. That if I chose a correct and rational path, she was determined because she knew that she was choosing a correct and a rational path, a reasonable path. The others around me had to change, not me. And she thought that if change was possible, it was possible for the other girls, and it was not for her. That means she was determined not to change herself, and if change was possible, it was possible for the other girls in the locality. Santosh's parents were affluent landowners who could afford to send their children to the best schools. Santosh's parents were landowners and they had no difficulty to send their children to the schools because they were rich, they were affluent, even to the country's capital. Country's capital here means New Delhi. New Delhi, which was quite close by. It was the nearest city, metropolitan city, to the village in which Santosh was born. But in line with the prevailing custom in the family, Santosh had to make do the local village school. But as it was the tradition, it was the convention, it was the custom, Santosh was admitted to the village school. There was no scope for going to Delhi school because her parents were very rigid. So she decided to fight the system in her own quiet way when the right time or the right moment arrived. But Santosh was determined. Santosh decided, and Santosh was confirmed that she would change herself and she would walk in her own path when it would be time for her. And at right moment, and when the right moment came, when she turned 16, in the meantime, gradually but inevitably, Santosh grew up and reached the 16 years of her age. At 16, most of the girls in her village used to get married. When all the other girls of the village would reach 16, they were bound into wedlock. And it was also the convention. Santosh was also under pressure from her parents to do the same. And Santosh was pressurized by her parents to do the same, that is, to marry. And it was compulsion for every girl when she would reach her 16 years, she must marry. But what did Santosh do? Santosh was quite reluctant to do it. She wanted to avoid her marriage. And that's the end today. I have read with you 3 paragraphs tonight, and I think that gradually I would I will complete the study, and if you think it very useful for you, I think that you will not forget to subscribe my channel so that I may be encouraged and enthused. Good night today. Stay safe, stay well, and study hard.